The Carolina Hurricanes are up in New York tonight for Game 4 against the Rangers after dropping Game 3 in their fourth consecutive road playoff game. Figure out how they can come away with their first road playoff win of this postseason in today's episode of Locked On Hurricanes.
You're Locked On Hurricanes, your daily podcast on the Carolina Hurricanes. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hey there, Caniacs. I'm your host, Jared Ellis, and you're listening to Locked On Hurricanes on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'd like to thank you for making Locked On Hurricanes your first listen of this Tuesday afternoon. And don't forget to follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at LO_Hurricanes. Myself on Twitter at JaredEllis_96. Subscribe on YouTube and rate the show 5 stars on whatever streaming platform you are listening on. And in today's episode, folks, we will be diving into Game 4 for tonight's game against the New York Rangers. And a lot of this, is going to be carryover from the previous episode, what I feel the Hurricanes need to do. And, we'll talk about that more in the keys to the game. But I want to touch on some storylines here in this game because I feel this is going to be a very interesting game, to say the least. We obviously go back to the end of Game 3 of how chippy it was getting with Max Domi and Tony DeAngelo and some other Rangers players. And I feel that is going to be something to really watch for in this game. New York's head coach, he made some comments there in post game that we want to play like that. They got guys that can match that. And I believe it was Tony himself saying that, number 75 in blue, Ryan Reeves, is going to be a guy to watch out for. And that is something I fully agree with tonight, that, Rod Brind'amour is obviously denying, that they're trying to play like that and whatnot. And of course he's going to. But, whether they are or not, you still did that stuff at the end of Game 3, and I feel like New York, they didn't take kindly to that. They did not, and they're going to be coming out swinging in this game, and the Hurricanes are going to need to be ready for that. And I do think they realize that they are going to have to be, with comments that have been made. And I think that they are really going to have to bring a extra physicality. That's something we have talked about, this season in this playoff, that they have been bringing that, where in years past, they were the team to really get pushed around and not pushing back or doing the pushing. I think they're going to have to be ready to do some pushing around tonight, because New York is definitely going to be ready to do that. And I think that whenever New York does try their stuff, don't let them get in your head, or their head, I guess you would say. But they need to keep New York from getting under their skin. I think that's going to be big, because it does seem like, some folks are letting the other team get under their skin. Tony is a prime example of that this postseason. Game 3 here. In the New York series, you look in the Boston series where he threw his stick at Brad Marchand. Chill out. Just walk away, or skate away, I guess you would say. But we got to keep our emotions in check. Obviously, don't let them walk all over you or anything like that. But don't go out instigating stuff. Don't do that. And I think the Hurricanes are really going to need to get that in check tonight, because I feel like the Rangers are going to be trying to draw that stuff out. And they're going to be trying to get those advantages, on power play. Like, hey, let's go get under Domi's skin, or let's go get under D'Angelo's skin, and let's make him do something stupid, and send him to the box, and then we get a power play opportunity. Let's not go down that road tonight. I think that's going to be really, really big. And whenever we do get those power play opportunities on our end, the Hurricanes are going to need to capitalize on those. And they've got to show up with those power play opportunities and show up offensively, because that's been a real struggle all season long of, can our power play and offense show up on the road? So far, it hasn't. And they really need to do something to get that mojo back that they have at PNC Arena. And what that takes, I'm not 100% sure. I mean, you have our PA announcer, Wade Minter. He took a flight up to New York City this morning, is going to be at the game to try to bring some of that mojo here or there. So what it takes, I'm not sure. I mentioned in the previous episode that I think it could be some kind of mental issue that they're having. And I don't know exactly what they need to do there. Again, we can obviously say, hey, it needs to show up. Hey, the power play needs to show up. We can say that all day long. We've been saying that all postseason with these road games. But again, as I always say, it's one thing for me to sit here and say it, or these other podcasts to sit there and say it, or the writers to sit there and say it. It's one thing for us to do that, because we're not the ones out there playing in those games. So the Hurricanes, they need to do whatever it is they need to do to get their offense rolling. Because like I said in yesterday's episode, that if they cannot get their power play consistently rolling, and if they cannot win on the road, they're not going to make it past Tampa Bay in the conference final. It's not going to happen. They can maybe make it past New York. Could maybe do that. They're not going to get past Tampa Bay. Plain and simple. But there's going to be a lot of stuff to watch for in this game. And I think one of the biggest things for us to watch for in this game is that Frederik Andersen was at practice this morning. And he was in the backup net. Antti Raanta was in the starter's crease. So you kind of expected Antti Raanta to get started. But is Freddie going to be available tonight? Is he going to be backing up? Is he going to be making his playoff debut, essentially? Or not debut, he's not playing, but is he going to be on the bench tonight? I don't know. I haven't seen where Rod Brind'amour has given an update on that for today. He said, for us to quit asking, no more when Freddie's actually practicing. So, Freddie was practicing yesterday as well. A bit of a light practice. He didn't have the full practice, but he was out there, and now he's at morning skate practicing, and it'll be interesting to see, because from what I saw, Piotr was not out there, so maybe Freddie's backing up tonight. I think that'll be something we know more about later on in the day. Maybe we'll find it out during this recording, whether or not Freddie will be backing up. But in the meantime, we need to look at the keys to the game for tonight's game, and we will do that right after this quick break. Folks, I love brownies, and you know what I love even more than brownies? Brownie batter. And you are in luck, and I am in luck if you are in the same boat as I do, because Built has a new creation, and this one is better than ever. I cannot wait for it, and that is the Brownie Batter Puff. You heard me right. The Puff takes protein bars to a whole new level, and they're available right now at Built.com. And I'm so excited for this brownie batter flavor. I love the birthday cake flavor. I love the churro flavor. So I'm really hyped for this. And if you haven't tried Built Bar or Built Puffs yet, this is going to be the one for you to try. The Built Puffs are, of course, the marshmallow protein bar. They are a delicious flavored marshmallow covered in 100% real chocolate. And with this brownie batter puff, it only has 140 calories, 17 grams of protein, and 7 grams of sugar. And they're going to be the perfect pick-me-up for any day, whether you're at work, the gym, a hike, or just sitting around the house snacking. This is going to be for you. And all Built Puffs are covered in 100% real chocolate. And that means when you eat Built, you are eating healthy and you can actually enjoy doing it. And they are made with collagen protein, which your body absorbs more efficiently and provides tons of health benefits. The Built Bar Puffs are what you can completely forget about eating regular protein bars, because they're different. They're actually really, really good. Again, I'm really excited for this brownie batter one. You guys have heard me talk about Built Bars and Built Puffs for years now. And the chocolate ones and the brownie ones are always my favorite. So I'm very excited for this. So right now you can go to built.com and use promo code LOCKED15 and get 15% off your order when you use promo code LOCKED15 for 15% off at built.com. Now, folks, the keys to the game I feel are going to be really, really important. And again, these are ones that we've kind of touched on already in this episode and in yesterday's episode. So obviously, I feel a big one is going to be keep emotions in check. We've talked about that already today, but I feel that is going to be a very big thing for the Hurricanes, because if you're letting this team get under your skin, you're done. You're done. And I think that they need to be able to keep their emotions in check if they're also going to win on the road. That was something that up in Boston they struggled to do. Again, going back to Tony DeAngelo throwing his stick at Brad Marchand. You can't be doing that. And stuff like that is why you're not able to win on the road, because you're letting these other teams get in your head and get under your skin, and you can't do that. You just need to go out there, stick to your game, play your game, adapt how you need to adapt, of course, but don't let them get to you. And I think that's going to be big, and because New York, I am fully confident in that they are going to be gunning for these guys that are like that, like Tony DeAngelo, like Max Domi. They're going to be going after those guys tonight. They are. And the Hurricanes have got to be ready for that. And I'm confident that they will be. Again, just stuff that was said in post-game press conference, stuff that was said. And I feel that they know that they're going to have to be ready for that. But again, it's one thing, knowing you got to be ready for it. But it's one thing. It's another thing going out there and facing it. So that's going to be big for them tonight. And I think another big one is going to be rattling and pressuring Igor Shesterkin. I think that's going to be really, really big, because the guy, you can obviously chalk up part of Game 3 to just how good he was. The guy was ridiculous. Stopping 43 of 44 shots, and he's a Hart and Vezina finalist for a reason. He is. And you can chalk part of that up to him being that good. Okay. But again, at the end of the day, I think what they're going to have to do is get to him early and win those key early faceoffs in periods, and really get down to him, create a lot of traffic in front of the net, and then again, just pressure him. Just create that pressure. Do not let off the gas once you get up there. And I think that the Hurricanes did good by having a lot more shots in Game 3, because you look at the first 2 games. that you had a combined, 40 something for the Hurricanes, and then you double that, or you match that and exceed that in game 3. I think that's going to be really key here is just throwing pucks at him. But on the flip side of that, I think another key to this game is going to be one that I've said before, is that they need to shoot to score. And that's not just, again, I'll elaborate on this. It's not just shooting the puck at the net. Shoot to get the puck in the back of the net. And because sometimes I feel that that's what the Hurricanes are doing. They're just shooting to shoot. They're not shooting to score. Because again, you look at some of these games towards the tail end of the regular season, they're racking up high 40s, 50s shots on goal, and you're coming away with 1, 2, sometimes no goals. What is going on there? And I feel that they need to yes, shoot pucks at Igor, rattle him, pressure him, create that traffic in front of the net. They obviously got to do all that, but also pick your shots wisely. And that's going to be finding that balance between making a pass to get a better shot, but not overpassing and trying to do too much, because that's the thing that I feel the Hurricanes have been bad for this season and last season and the season before, is they do too much. You're passing too much. You don't have these guys that have the shoot first mentality. They have a lot of these guys with the pass first mentality, and that is going to be something that I think they really need to overcome. And that's not just something for game 4. That's something just going forward in general for game 4, 5, 6, 7, conference final, cup final next season after that. Don't be afraid to shoot the puck. If you have a good shot, take the shot. Don't pass it over to another guy for when you had a great chance right there and you passed up on it, and now you're not going to have that again. But I think that's going to be big as well. Shoot to score and don't overpass. That's going to be really, really big for the Hurricanes tonight. And I got to mention it. I didn't have it written down, but don't leave Antti out to dry, man. Don't do that. Don't make him have to stand on his head and make ridiculous saves. He's been the reason you've been able to stay in some of these games, and he's been outstanding this postseason. And I think that the Hurricanes, they need to support him, because one thing that I have said that worries me with Antti Raanta is not his play by any means. He's playing great. It's his body. Can his body hold up? And when you're leaving him out to dry and he's having to make a ton of ridiculous saves, how much longer can his body hold up? I think that's going to be really important. Get out there and support him so he's not having to do so much, because his injury history does worry me. He's already left this postseason once due to injury. Let's not have that happen again. So now moving ahead to the lines and pairs for tonight, we'll talk about those right after this quick break. Now, folks, diving into the lines and the pairs for tonight's game. As of right now, as of this recording at 12:10 in the afternoon for game 4, the lines have not been announced, or the projected lineups have not been given out yet. But I do feel that we look at these previous games, go back to game 3. I don't think we're going to see a whole lot of change in these lineups. I feel we're going to be seeing a good bit of the same. I feel your top line is going to be the same, maybe a little change here and there, but for the most part, I feel we're going to be looking at the same things that we've been seeing. And that's going to be Teravine and Aho Jarvis on the top line, Trocheck, Natchez, Sveshnikov on the third, Niederreiter, Stahl, Foss, Domi, Kotkaniemi, Lawrence. And then on defense, Slavin D'Angelo, Shea Pesci, Smith, Cole, starting goalie being Antti Raanta. Maybe you see Derek Stepan slot in somewhere. Maybe not. I don't really think so. I know he was practicing today. He was in Jesper Foss' spot, but then Jesper Foss came back out. Maybe he had to use the bathroom or something. I don't know. But I really don't think we're going to see much change here. Again, maybe you see one or two guys flip-flop. Like maybe you see Andrei Sveshnikov go up on the first line, Tavo come back down to the second. I think really that's going to be the extent of any sort of lineup changes that we see in this game. And really the biggest thing is going to be, is Frederik Andersen going to be on the bench tonight? And, I think we're all, realize, he's not going to be playing, but, is he going to be backing up tonight? And maybe he will be, maybe he won't be. I mean, we won't know until, we know. But I think that's really going to be the biggest thing. Is Freddie going to be out there on the bench? Is he going to be available for the Hurricanes tonight after having not been available for over a month now? We last saw him April 16th. And that's going to be very, very interesting, whenever we do see him. Again, he's not going to be playing tonight. I'm 100% confident in that. But say game 5. The kind of rust that'll be on him then, I don't know. But, this is going to be, I think the Hurricanes, like I said, they just need to stick to their game. Don't let New York get in their head. And that is going to be really, really key here, is keeping New York at bay. Again, New York, they're going to come out and do their thing, and, that is what it is there. The Hurricanes push back. That's going to be big. That was something they did well in the Boston series as a whole. And yeah, you weren't able to win on the road, but they pushed back. After years of being the team that gets pushed around, they pushed back. And I think that the Hurricanes are going to need to be ready to be pushing back tonight and do some pushing around. This is going to be a very, very physical game. And it feels like I say that out with all of these games, with the Boston series, with this series. It feels like I'm always saying it's going to be a really physical game. And they always are. But I feel this one's going to be a little bit more, with those comments that have been made, after game 3 yesterday and all that stuff. I feel this is going to be a game where we may end up seeing some gloves drop. The extent of the Battle of Alberta? Probably not. This is going to be a game where the Hurricanes need to be ready. They're not a fighting team, a team that really drops the gloves a lot. But I feel it's going to be something they need ready to do today. And because I do feel that there's going to be a very, very good chance that New York is going to be ready to drop the gloves. That, no pun intended, but the drop of a hat. And they need to be ready for that. And they also need to be ready to get the eagle early. Win those early faceoffs and get down to the net, create traffic, pressure, and get the pucks past him. I think that's going to be really, really key. You've been able to get stuff past him. You've been able to beat him. He's human. So, you can beat him. Go out there and do it. And in the meantime, we just got to wait till puck drop, folks. So make sure you follow Locked On Hurricanes on Twitter and Instagram at @LO_Hurricanes. Myself on Twitter at JaredEllis_96. Subscribe on YouTube and rate the show 5 stars on whatever streaming platform you're listening on. And I will talk to you in tomorrow's episode where we recap Game 4. Hopefully, it's a good one.